saw Kevin Liles step down. Is it an end of an era from him stepping down from 300?
Yes and no. I think the era of 300, they got a lot of wins. 300 has a ton of wins. But I don't feel like Kevin Liles at 300 is not Kevin Liles at Def Jam. It's two totally different guys. Leo Cohen, same thing. You know what I mean? I think at the point of where Kevin Liles is, I mean, I'm 41 years old. I don't know how old Kevin Liles is, but I be sick of this shit every day too. You feel me? So I could understand you cashing out and being like, oh, I'm cool. You know what I mean? Like, and music has always been a means to find other avenues to invest in. I seen a billionaire say, I didn't make money by having money in the bank. I made money by making money and investing my money. Mm-hmm. So I'm pretty sure Kevin Liles has he's a very, very smart guy. I'm pretty sure he has a lot of different things that he's gonna invest in. For the people who think that this is all tied together and it's all connected, it's not. Timing is bad, right? Because
it's cleansing time. It's time for a cleanse.
It is, but I think, because you get the conspiracy theorists on Twitter that's like, oh man, the Diddy thing happens and then Kevin Liles stepped down. It's because he's in Nah, I don't think it's nothing like that. I just think that Kev is probably at a different place in his life and he ready to just move on to different things.
I think it's the clear end of an era. I think that when I saw that Hits Daily Double article, I knew that Kevin Liles and 300 was done. When they leak a story to the media saying what they said in that interview, where it was like basically Julie used her influence to get a big payday for Kev and herself, and at that moment they was basically saying, oh, y'all think nice Julie or legendary Julie didn't deserve to be this. She got a piece of that deal. Whenever that deal is, that means that if they say that deal is bad, how do you make the deal not bad? It's something else they said. They said that Meg is gone, so they don't have Meg. Think about it, you pay $400 million and your two biggest out. Meg is gone and Thug is on trial, and then Gunna is fighting to be where he once was again. When you look at it from that standpoint, on the record sales side,
I want to just interject real quick, but keep your thought.
Go ahead.
It ain't Gunna's better than he's ever been doing.
No, I was about to say, I'm glad you said that. His story is selling. His story is bringing chairs out, but his last two albums that he dropped since he's been out, the second one, if I'm not mistaken, was half the first one, first week. So that means he's losing momentum,
I can see why though, too.
Exactly. So the first album, I think he did like 100.
He did like 116.
Exactly. The second album, he did like 60, which means that says decline to the money people. The money people like, where we gonna get our money back from? So what you do in a case where you're buying, because let's say 300 is bringing in $30 million a year. If you're spending $20 million on salaries and signings, we only really making 10.
Yeah.
I'd rather give me that 30, cut it back, and let me get my 400 million over time.
Yeah.
So I knew that by that article, 300 was in trouble, and Kevin just stepped down. And I'm looking to see, I'm expecting more of that to happen because they didn't even appoint a position. Like, don't forget, we all started because they said Craig and Julie are stepping down and Elliot is stepping up. Yeah. They just said Kev is stepping down, but these two people will be here. Raina and Salim will be here. Right. Nigga, what does that mean? Like, I go to Raina for one thing, Salim for one thing. I come to you for everything.
Well, I mean, I think it's also a changing of the guard. Like, Raina, I remember when she left from Def Jam and went over to 300, and she'd been putting in that work. You know what I mean? She's elevated.
Yeah, for sure.
Like, I remember about 7 years ago, she was in a cubicle. Now she, corner office. You feel me? So it's like she's been stepping her game up, and I think that the relationship she has with Kev and the whole team, they really showed her, you know what I mean, that they wanted her too. Yeah. So there's so many skills that she may have that people might not be privy to, that she might been running this joint for the past 3 years.
But then if that's the case, in the press release, they would have said Raina is taking the CEO reins.
Yeah, I do get that, but
that's what I'm saying. Like, they would have done that. They didn't even do that.
And
so
Salim
it's
too, I got to give props to Salim
for
too.
Sure.
Like, they've been putting in work. So I do believe that, Kev, even with a situation like that, even though you cashing out, you do want to leave your baby in the hands of somebody that can take care of it.
No, it's not his baby anymore. He sold it.
He did sell it.
So it's not even his. That's what I'm saying. Like, it's kind of like you sell your company. Once you sell your company, you put yourself in a position to get fired. I think he stepped down before they could fire him. That's what I believe happened. I believe that I believe that he couldn't get first of all, Kevin has been in the game 30 years.
Yeah.
And now you make him a report to a 30-year-old? How disrespectful is that to my career? Like, you know what I'm trying to say? What does it look like? He's younger than my employees that report to me. You know what I'm saying? So I think that this is what they do in the music business. They don't tell you to go, Wayno. They just turn the lights on.
Oh, no, I already know.
And then they don't tell you to go, they just put the music on.
Let me ask you a question, because I want to give Elliot Grainge, right?
Yep.
I know a lot of people are critical of him and his skill set because of who his dad is, but he did build something.
He's great.
But what I'm saying is this, right? Like, I feel like there's for yourself. I know that me and you can have conversations and you can say, "Oh, Wayno, I can learn from you," and vice versa. I learn from you every time I'm around you. But do you think that the way it's packaged up and the way it's delivered to the masses, how everybody's seeing it, what you just said with him saying, "Oh man, I ain't answering to nobody," is that ego? Because one thing I can say about Elliot is this.
I like what this conversation
one thing I can say about Elliot is this. I never worked with the brother. I know a ton of my friends work with him, and he even made a lot of people I love rich. What I will say is that while he might not have the same take on what it was 30 years ago, he did crack somewhat of a code of what has been in the past 10.
Period.
So even, nepotism and all of that, his dad and all that's cool, but is he the right man for the job in a sense?
Well, here's what I'm about to say. Here's the only thing that makes it a little weird is that we didn't grow up together. But I guarantee you we grew up with the same struggles.
Absolutely.
Which makes us friends, relatable, understand each other. He didn't have to do that. He stepped off. He's like Bronny. He stepped off and got drafted, whose daddy was. By the way, that's good for him.
I love where this is
That's
going.
good for him.
Right.
But what I'm saying is that you still let the world know. Y'all old niggas can go. Everybody old, anybody want to talk about the old, y'all can go, because the old niggas is going too.
So what do y'all think it means for 300 and the
If I had to make a guess, and I hate to do this because I got some friends over there, I think 300 is going to be folded in the next. I'm looking to it to be folded before the year's up.
Before this year's out?
I think it's going to be folded. I think it's going to be folded. I think it's going to be folded into Atlantic, not dropped, just kind of folded into Atlantic. And they're going to make Atlantic staff handle 300 artists, and they're going to keep the best of the best out of 300 and let everybody else go.
That's the same thing that they did when I was at Asylum. Asylum, in the mid 2000s, Mike Jones, Gucci, Dipset.
This is when Joey IE
when Joey IE was over there, yeah, and Asylum ended up becoming an incubator system for Atlantic.
Atlantic, yep.
So we would sign stuff, and or Atlantic would sign stuff, and if it's not ready for Atlantic staff,
Asylum worked it.
We worked it, and then once it gets to that point, you can upstream, or then you just go back over the way you signed that.
Yes.
So I could see something like that.
And now that can happen with 300, but I still think that, listen, man, I just noticed to be a fact. When Elliot came on, there was employees who had been there for 10 years plus that made that company millions of dollars that said, I just want to meet with Elliot, and Elliot declined to meet with them. Now, I know that for a fact because they called me, like, he didn't even want to meet with me. What that tells you something. That means it's like I might not want to fuck with Wayno, but because I've been in the game long enough, I know I still don't want an enemy out of him. He don't even care if he was enemy. I'm playing in such a big game, like he done jumped over everybody. So to me, that's what makes it slightly scary, and I say the end of an era because he has no responsibility to nobody. Think about that. Like his dad put him on. Who do you report to? Like who can you say, man, you remember we came up together? I seen Stans when she was an intern. Now she's a lawyer now. Damn, that like those years add to the relationship. He don't have that with nobody. He's a straight businessman. And when I heard how he got the job, this is what I heard. I don't know if this would be a fact, because I didn't hear it from the horse's mouth. But I heard what he did was he came into Atlantic. He kind of knew what was going on from Len Blavatnik, the owner of Warner Worldwide, the billionaire. He knew what was going on from his son. His son knew that they were losing money. His son knew the inside. So he put together a plan on how he can make Atlantic Records $100 million in the first 6 months of his leadership. How the fuck you think he gonna do that? you start dropping shit.
Yeah, that's a fact.
Cut it.
You
You
drop the
gotta cut
money,
the fat.
right?
Yeah,
You
you
cut
gotta
it
cut
now.
it. Yeah, you gotta cut
That's
it.
my point. So
Yeah.
but I couldn't do that. You couldn't do that.
Nah,
like
that's a
niggas
fact.
gonna be looking at us like, wait, no nigga, man, we did this and you still get rid of me. Oh man, we was back at Def Jam. He don't have none of that.
Yeah,
he don't have no attachment. You don't remember me? No, I don't.
But that's the
Sorry.
thing. I think, and I'll say this in closing because I know we're going to move on. But see, the thing with us is like all the things that make us great, we take this shit home with us.
True.
And that's the toughest part. A lot of them when they take it home, like when they don't take it home, like it's not a part of their Saturday or Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we on the grill talking about the job. You know what I'm saying?
But we don't have, do you think we have, I don't think we have that luxury.
We don't because
don't.
we've always been in survival mode.
Right.
You know?
All right.
Because Lucian ain't not that. By the way, I want my son to have those benefits. So I'm not mad at nobody. I heard Elliot is great, but they just shown you what happens when they bring in businessmen and not peers. That man came in and did business. Everybody can go. I'll start over. I'll keep your shit, by the way.
Right.
He kept what he wanted, sent everybody else home. That's it. I do think it's the end of an era, and I do think that that I don't know what the business is gonna look like in the next 5 years, which is scary to me because I make my money in this business. That's the only thing scary.